Finally, and sadly, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger have left ECOWAS. I mean, this should be a good news, but at the same time, as a Pan-African, this is also really a bad news, seeing the failure of our regional cooperations and the African Union. Hello, I am Mahlet Ayele, your host at Connect Africa, bringing you the latest from the continent, and particularly from the Sahel states. Now, this is just in; it was just announced and released that these Sahel states have left ECOWAS because it failed really to do what it needs to do with all the principles that it's supposed to do for its member states. Now, these states have been sanctioned by ECOWAS and the African Union and the international community for long, ever since the revolution happened in the country, or the Western media calls it, the coup. But this is something what the people of Mali, the people of Burkina Faso, the people of Niger wanted, this change of the government, leaders that will break the continued shackle of neo-colonialism for once and for all. They have been fighting. I mean, Mali being the first ever since the government has changed in 2021, and then following Burkina Faso, and then just recently we have Niger, which went through the same revolution in July. And the first organization that sanctioned this state was actually ECOWAS. Now, this regional cooperation is nearly half a century old. It's a 49 years old organization. But what did we see? Instead of really bringing that unity that it was established for, the economic community, creating that one economic community, creating that one regional state, having one regional military which can defend each other whenever something happens. It was doing completely the opposite when this revolution happened. ECOWAS, basically what it has manifested was being an errand boy, first and foremost for the French government, which was, kicked out, and the main the anti-sentiment in these regions, or in these countries, was because anti-French sentiment. It was the former colonizer of this country, so it was just being used as an instrument or as a tool for France to implement or to threaten these countries. And they have waited, and that economic community where it's established for has failed because they were banning. The first things they have done on these countries was to close the borders by sea, to close the border by air, to close the border by sea. I mean, these are landlocked countries in the Sahel states, but three of them. And to block that, and to block the daily trucks that are coming in, coming out from these states, bringing basic needs, forget the other things, basic needs to the people, and you still continue to deny that to the Malian people, to the Burkinabes, to the Nigerians. And is it really about the government, that made this change of government? Or is it really, about the people and, being an instrument of the Western governments? So that is what has been manifested. And they have waited and they have fought it. Nobody was there from the ECOWAS state except for each other, where, Niger was threatened for that military intervention by ECOWAS states, not all of them, but, some of them in the group. First and foremost, it was Mali and Burkina Faso that came and, say military intervention in Niger will be considered as military intervention in Burkina Faso and in Mali. And, furthermore, They don't see any change that military alliance, and they signed that of the states and created the Sahel alliance, and that G5 Sahel states, which was a security alliance created by French, and they have withdrawn, and two of them, Chad and Mauritania, as a result, have left because three of them have left. So, I mean, they have gone through a lot, and there was no improvement from Ecowas. In fact, Ecowas, led by Bola Tinubu of Nigeria, has continued and renewing the sanction and demanding more things. You know, although they have made some flexibilities and announcing, you know, the date of where they will hold election, and telling them, you know, explaining our first priority is the security of our nation and the sovereignty of our territory, but nobody gave them an ear. So finally, what can they do but to leave this organization? It's really very sad, but three of them can do much better than what ECOWAS can do. Now let me just dive in and share some news, and also let you hear what has been announced officially by the spokesperson of the Malian government, Abdoulaye Maiga, with regards to this. Okay, I'll just go through this. This is what is shared by, released by the Russian government media outlet. So I'll just go through it, okay? Now, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali announced their withdrawal from the Economic Community of West Africa states. Now, Mali's Territorial Administration and Decentralization Minister, government spokesperson, Colonel Abdoulaye Maiga, has announced today on Sunday. Now, in a joint communique, the three countries explained that the organization has not provided assistance to our states in the framework of our existential fight against terrorism and insecurity. Now, the countries underlined with great regret, bitterness, and disappointment that ECOWAS has betrayed its founding principles. This is what I'm saying. Under the foreign influence, okay? They should have done a Pan-Africanism act, but something what the West, they have just served being a Western, tool. Now, ECOWAS, again, this is what they said in quotation, ECOWAS, under the influence of foreign powers, has betrayed its founding principles, which has become a menace to its member states and its people, whose happiness is, supposed to ensure, as the documents that they have released. I will let you to listen to this, but let me just dive in, more quotations from it. Now, what's even worse is that when these states decided to take their destiny into their own hands, ECOWAS adopted an irrational and unacceptable posture by imposing illegal, illegitimate, inhuman, and irresponsible sanctions in violation of its own treaties, all of which have further weakened populations already battered by years of violence imposed by instrumentalized tele-guided terrorist hordes, the communique read. Now, as you all know, that what we saw really something that needs to be supported is that a non-governmental organization from Burkina Faso and I think from Ghana has collaborated and actually sued ECOWAS to its own court in Nigeria, and they, they actually mentioned ever since this sanction have been imposed because of lack of those basic needs like medicine, food and other things, more than 125,000 people have been killed. So that is really an immense, this organization, what it has done. Now let us listen what the spokesperson of Mali said.
Après 49 ans d'existence, les voyants peuples du Burkina, du Mali et du Niger constatent, avec beaucoup de regrets, d'amertume et une grande déception, que leur organisation s'est éloignée des idéaux de ses pères fondateurs et du panafricanisme. En outre, la CEDEAO, c'est l'influence de puissances étrangères, trahissant ses principes fondateurs, est devenue une menace pour ses États membres et ses populations dont elle est censée assurer le bonheur. En effet, l'organisation n'a pas apporté assistance à nos États dans le cadre de notre lutte existentielle contre le terrorisme et l'insécurité. Pire, lorsque ces États ont décidé de prendre leur destin en main, elle a adopté une posture irrationnelle et inacceptable en imposant des sanctions illégitimes, illégales, inhumaines et irresponsables en violation de ses propres textes. Toutes choses qui ont davantage fragilisé les populations déjà meurtries par des années de violence imposées par des hordes terroristes instrumentalisées et téléguidées. Face à cette situation qui perdure, leurs excellences le capitaine Ibrahim Traoré, le colonel Assimi Goïta et le général de brigade Abdourahmane Tchani, respectivement chef d'État du Burkina Faso, de la République du Mali et de la République du Niger, prenant toutes leurs responsabilités devant l'histoire et répondant aux attentes, préoccupations et aspirations de leur population, décident en toute souveraineté du retrait sans délai du Burkina Faso, du Mali et du Niger de la communauté économique des États de l'Afrique de l'Ouest.
So yeah, very sad. That's what has been communicated. From this is just a breaking news. I just came in unexpectedly. Thank you very much again, really, for tuning in. Let us know in the comment what a failure. I really hope that the African Union will take a lesson and restore or reinstate their membership back again of these Sahel states. This is really an embarrassment to us. This is an embarrassment to the African people, to the African Union supposedly the biggest Pan-African organization. And Ecowas, I mean, you are dead to me, really. Very sad, but I really want to thank those countries who even, first signed, cooperated with ECOWAS member states like Benin and Togo and Ghana as well. Later on, they reiterated their decision and actually opened their door for these Sahel states and allowed for their port to be used for whatever they want, import and export, because they also need these Sahel states. You cannot just ban these countries. So kudos to them. I really want to thank them, and hopefully other ECOWAS members will take a suit and condemn ECOWAS for failing to fulfill its principle, what it is established for. This is pan-African thing. This is against what our ancestors, have imagined for us. Please share your view in the comment section. Thanks again for tuning in. Go ahead and share the video with others. Give it thumbs up if you like what we bring you here. If you want to help us further, go ahead in the description section and donate to our PayPal account. It will help us to be here more often. So thanks again. And another live there will be, announcing, Ghana's good news. So tune in, and it's a bye-bye for me now, but I will see you on the next one. Ciao.